A reminder that the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up on WCNC Plus at 7.
Charlotte City Council now one step closer to filling that new transportation authority.
Reviews are in, and who will be on that Transportation Advisory Board? We'll have the details coming up.
CMS is still shaping its rules for how AI should be used in the classroom. Coming up, what's in the draft policy and how you can weigh in tonight.
More than $6 billion in medical debt now erased across North Carolina.
This is life-changing news for so many families.
What this means for your debts and how to know if you're eligible for the cuts. You've heard of dry January. How about sober October?
How cutting back even a little could boost your health. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up on WCNC Plus.
Drive times this morning about 50 minutes if you're coming in from Salisbury and just over 40 from Gastonia. We are still following that slowdown on I-77. Remember, it's just construction. It's actually wrapping up at this point near exit 7. But this is a live camera look. I-77 inbound at Tyvola. So they had one lane completely blocked. They have since opened it, but cars are still struggling to drive the appropriate speed. However, they are still moving. So that is good news there. We do still have a couple more accidents to let you know about. This one here is going to be on Independence, inbound again at Margaret Wallace Road. Chris.
It is busy. The weather is not, which is a good thing. We have lots of sunshine, sunny to mostly sunny skies over the next 3. A few more clouds on Friday. Potentially the last pool day of the year, 82 on Saturday, and 1 rain chance. That's on Sunday. All in all, doesn't get much better than that for the middle part of October.
Right.
That looks really
Get
good,
out
Chris.
and enjoy. And call in sick. Just have your boss call him.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Join us on WCNC Plus.
Streaming live right now at 7 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. He has described it, he being our meteorologist Chris Mulcahy, as perfect weather.
I don't know if that's scientific, but I do think there might be something to it.
I think so, actually. Chris, I think we're with you on this one.
Okay, that's good. Now, you weren't with me. I was giving people fake doctor notes or weather notes when
Nope.
we got out of work. Yeah, I guess that might be a liability issue, but I'm still going to do it here on WCNC Plus. If you need a note saying the meteorologist said I could take the day off, I'll write it. I'm not sure if it's going to help you out. Lylesville here in Anson County, we are looking down, and what we're looking at, this is a little bit of fog. So fog literally is just a ground cloud. When it's not technically on the ground, it rises up and then it's just a plain old deck of stratus. And this is what we've seen for our visibilities. There is one area that stands out from all the rest, and that is you, where we are looking right around Wadesboro over here in Lylesville. And it's actually really starting to expand. The newest update actually brings visibilities back down to a half mile around Chiraw over to Albemarle. It's been this little corridor that we've seen the densest fog. Elsewhere, a whole lot of nothing. Now, just talking about our viewing area, if you head over the border into Tennessee, Bristol, Tennessee, only about a 1/10 of a mile visibility, so not great there. Down to 49 degrees, so this likely is going to be our low temperature for the map. These fluctuate by about a degree or so. It's usually right before or right after the sun rises that we have our low temperature for the day, but typically around this time of year, we've been doing it around 7 o'clock in the morning, 6:55-ish. And yesterday at this point, we were at 60 degrees, and we are 4 degrees cooler compared to 7:01 of Monday. And our school bus forecast, many have not ventured out to the school bus yet. The sweatshirt is a good idea for this morning, light jacket, whatever you prefer of those two. But the shorts and the short sleeves, still take advantage of it, because soon it's not going to be a good idea to do that, or the kids are going to be begging to wear the shorts. Then as a parent, you're going to have to say no, even though as a kid you might have done the same thing. And drier weather is just staying with us for today and beyond. Yesterday we were around 80 degrees with mostly sunny to sunny skies. Same thing goes. Tomorrow is going to be another day that's very similar. That's why you have boom, boom, boom hitting the jackpot here. All perfect days, feeling amazing. Now, I actually did read a paper once that the ideal human comfort is anywhere from about 76 to 77 degrees, mostly sunny skies with a light breeze. We pretty much have that this time, just getting up to around 80 degrees. Here's a look at our futurecast. Not much actually going on. So my main point is here that you're going to see some passing clouds, mainly through the overnights, but nothing's really moving in. Not going to see any green on a futurecast until you get to about Sunday. Sunday is where we start to see a big change. So we will, one, start to see clouds increase for your Friday. This is a backdoor front, meaning it moves from this or this direction compared to usually from the northwest. But then once you get the second cold front to move through, and that'll be on Sunday, that's our best chance for rain. Now note, this is way too far out. There's a good chance that this will completely change. What I really like to do is often by about day 5 of the forecast, we have a loose representation of what the timing is, around a 12-hour time frame. This is just showing that it's either going to be a couple of scenarios, most likely the afternoon to evening to the overnight, but it could transition to more of a Saturday night to Saturday morning to Sunday afternoon. So just kind of watch the forecast. We'll tell you how it progresses. But regardless, I think we are going to be clear by your Monday, and we're still seeing if there's even a chance for an outside thunderstorm. So we'll see. Tropical storm Lorenzo, it's confused, doesn't know what it's doing. It's kind of going out to sea and saying, no, wait, I forgot something. So it's just going to be bending around, and eventually I think it's going to become a remnant low, and we'll dance around here. But one thing you do not see here on the map is there's another wave that is coming right off of Africa that is likely going to move its way to the due west. We're watching that as potential Melissa, so stand by on that. It's still outside of 7 days. Just wanted to mention that as a little footnote. 80 degrees today and tomorrow, then the mid-70s. Lower 80s on Saturday, that one chance for rain as I mentioned. And wrapping the 7-day up with a bow, brought to us by Jerry Hunt Supercenter, by the way. We are back to sunnier skies in the mid-70s on Monday. So a perfect forecast. As I was joking with Majestic, I'm so sorry that she has to follow this up because I'm not even worthy of that 7-day forecast.
Yes, you are. You absolutely are. But yeah, I don't think I can compete with that when we're talking about traffic, and it's just about 7:05 right now. Here we go. Lots of people waking up, starting their day, and traffic is starting to get a bit more congested. This is going to be out there in York County, I-77, where yes, we do have lots of cars, but thankfully no accidents at this point. Drive times look a little like this, around 30 minutes if you're coming in from Belmont, just over 50 though if you're coming in from Salisbury, so plan accordingly. I've been following this for you all morning long. It's construction work still not completely done and over with. This is going to be the left lane that's currently closed. They're in the process of reopening everything, but there has been a delay. That's right here. This is I-77, exit 7 at Clanton Road, inbound lane. So again, that's kind of been a bit of a mess this morning. Here's I-77, one of the best cameras showing you the perspective of that. This is out at Tyvola. So you can see cars, they are moving, but they're moving rather slowly and it's getting jam-packed. So plan accordingly. We'll have more on your traffic report coming up here in a little while.
This morning, Charlotte City Council moving forward with the process of appointing 9 members to what will be a newly proposed transportation authority.
This group will oversee how funds are spent if that 1% sales tax passes in November. However, there is still some pushback. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live this morning to explain. Richard.
Yeah, good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. A good Tuesday morning, everyone. Basically, this is the pushback is just basically at least one council member saying it's too soon to even do this process, especially when we haven't had the vote to make this board a reality. But the council member said that that's something that they're considering, but they're still moving forward. The council has received more than 126 applications as of their meeting yesterday and say now they're ready to start the review process and recommendations for what would be the new Transportation Advisory Board. The group would help oversee how funds are spent if voters approve that 1-cent sales tax referendum next month. But before giving the green light, council members debated how the selection process would work, particularly the fact that the mayor would have 2 of the 9 appointments at her discretion. Some members also raised concerns about maintaining fairness, transparency, and representation across the city. In the end, the council approved the process and will narrow down the application to finalists to then be interviewed. But at least one council member says that, hey, aren't we moving a little too fast? Take a listen.
On October 22nd, we will notify all 27 applicants of the schedule and who will be moving forward to the interview. October 27th through the 31st, Councilmember Driggs, Councilmember Mayfield, and myself will be conducting interviews, and we invite all council members to attend.
Yeah, now that was Councilmember Smudgy Mitchell kind of talking about the process and how they're going to narrow it down. What we were supposed to hear was another Councilmember, Waddington, talk about the fact that, you know, couldn't we wait till after the election and if that referendum passed, because that would be more transparent to voters, not putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. So we'll try and hear from her in the next half hour. Of course, each Councilmember will have the opportunity to pick at least 3 for each of those 9 positions, recommendations, I should say, for each of those 9 positions, and if they'll narrow it down to 27 finalists, those finalists will be interviewed by, as you just heard Mr. Mitchell talk about, those 3 council members. Of course, all the council folks will have the opportunity to weigh in by asking or submitting questions beforehand for that interview process. Of course, this is an ongoing process. All of this, it will happen if Charlotteans voters pass that 1-cent sales tax referendum. We're right here in Charlotte. We'll send it back to you.
Which is at this point a big if. But Richard, who can apply to be on this authority? Can it be anybody? Can it be just a cat's rider? Does it have to be an expert in the field of transportation? Who can apply?
Yeah, it's open. It's open to. They want people who have ridden cats. That was one of the first and most important aspects of it. Folks who are familiar with the system, who ride the system. That's that representation portion that they're talking about. Is it limited to that? We've actually heard a former or soon-to-be former council member, Marjorie Molina, who lost her race in the Eastern District. She's actually wanted to apply. There was some discussion about that at the last meeting. As far as whether or not she could be on it, because they said that this time it is not a paid position, but it could become one. So the basics are the most important aspect that everyone said when they were talking about this advisory board is having people who ride or who are familiar riding with the CAT system.
I mean, that's an important
and
part.
those applications, by the way, the application process is now closed. That's okay. That's okay. The application process is now closed. They've gotten all their applications and they'll be reviewing those.
Okay, so we'll be finding out, hopefully.
Richard, thank you.
Thanks, Richard. Well, right now, CMPD is investigating a deadly shooting at a South Park apartment. We brought you this as breaking news yesterday right here on WCNC Plus. A woman was found shot inside the gated garage of the Hazel apartment complex yesterday. She was rushed to the hospital but died. CMPD shared it doesn't believe there is currently a threat to the community. However, that violence has some neighbors on edge and questioning their safety.
I know that parking gate, if someone is right behind you, they can follow behind you. So I don't know if that's something that our apartment complex can change, of, having one car at a time come through with the key card.
I hate to see it here, and I hate that it's going to leave a mark on all the other people that live here, but I just hope that they find who did it.
Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Right now, no arrest has been made and no suspect description has been released.
Morning commuters in West Charlotte, listen up. Construction now underway on a highly anticipated interstate improvement project. I-45 South merging at I-85 headed to Gaston County. Drivers say the project is long overdue, with that area becoming a constant point of traffic congestion, and not just during the rush hour, but all the time.
I usually will sometimes go more of the side roads, but even then, I mean, everybody, because there's so much congestion on the highway, people will take the side roads too, so then it doesn't even matter. It's just kind of you just have to accept it, listen to some music, put on some podcasts.
The DOT will help widen and lengthen the ramp there. Work is taking place during nighttime hours to limit morning backups. The project's expected to finish in 2028. Approaching 7:14 right now on WCNC Plus, and this morning many Israeli families are celebrating the return of their loved ones from Hamas captivity. Still, others are grieving those who didn't survive. Yesterday, 4 hostages who died were returned to Tel Aviv. Another 24 bodies are expected to be handed over as part of the first phase of the current ceasefire deal. Now, the Hostages and Missing Families Forum is calling for an immediate suspension of the peace deal until all deceased hostages are returned. The group also says any delay would be a violation of the agreement.
Also happening this morning, President Trump is back in Washington after signing a peace deal between Israel and Hamas yesterday. The president addressed global leaders at a peace summit in Egypt after a visit to Israel, where he met with released hostages and their families.
NBC's Alice Barr has more on the president's return and the deal.
This morning, as President Trump returns to the White House from a Middle East trip that sought to cement peace in Gaza.
Historic day. to put it mildly.
The final 20 living Israeli hostages are waking up at home for the first time in 2 years. Joyful family reunions nourishing a nation hollowed out by their long and painful absence. Images of Hamas terrorists abducting Noah Argamani as her boyfriend, Avinatan Or, was also dragged away, were among the most searing from the October 7th attacks. Noah was rescued last year. Avinatan leaping into her arms upon his release. While in Gaza, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners also released through the peace deal, all returning to a war-ravaged territory. President Trump joined 20 other heads of state for a peace summit in Egypt, seeking long-term solutions.
We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building.
The president thanking neighboring Arab states for committing to helping rebuild.
I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together.
Though so far, Israel and Hamas have agreed to just phase 1 of President Trump's 20-point peace plan, with looming questions about Hamas disarming and leaving power, and who will govern Gaza through an uncertain future. Another outstanding question, the return of the remains of deceased hostages. Only 4 of 28 believed to be held by Hamas were returned on Monday. Long-term, when asked about Palestinian statehood, the two-state solution, President Trump said the focus right now is on rebuilding Gaza. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, we'll have another check of your traffic and morning commute coming your way in just 2 minutes. This morning, at least 3 people are dead after dangerous rain and wind slammed the Northeast. The storm, known as a nor'easter, brought coastal flooding to several states, including New Jersey and even all the way down to South Carolina.
In Massachusetts, 2 people were killed when a small plane crashed into a highway median during heavy rain and strong winds yesterday. Again, the storm called a nor'easter because the winds blowing from the northeast push water toward the coast, often causing flooding. Chris, I know you've explained this several times, but this really had an impact kind of up and down the coast.
A low pressure system rotates counterclockwise, so that's where you're getting the push out of the northeast, so going like this fashion. But a hurricane, a tropical storm, is also a low pressure system. It's just derived differently. So when you have the fronts attached to it, it can be a mid-latitude cyclone, have a bunch of different names, but this one's specifically nor'easter because of where it originated And most often, they will head to the northeast, and that's exactly what this one did. But essentially, it does the same thing as, say, like a low-end tropical storm, picks up a lot of water, and it splashes it to the shoreline. So, yeah, a big-time deal. And during the wintertime, they can cause a lot of snow and sometimes become almost winter hurricanes, gusting just as much with low-end speeds up to about 70 to even 80-plus miles per hour. Big time issues there. There's some lines, since I was from Massachusetts, where you can see how high the water came up from different nor'easters of the past, especially back in '93. All right, anyways, back to our area. Next 36 hours got me on my nor'easter tangent. We are looking at a great setup here that's going to keep lots of sunshine around. This guy is going to bring more clouds on Friday. It'll clear out, and then a secondary front is going to roll in behind this. But check out our skyscapes across the zones. We have Boone, 52 degrees, Charlotte, beautiful pinks at 56 degrees, and Monroe, you're sitting pretty at 55 degrees. So this is a delightful start, just about 5 degrees cooler than what we had yesterday. Big deal in the near term is going to be our next rain chance, and I've been showing you this all morning long, that we have on and off rain really starting on Sunday, but I think it's really for the second half as of right now. Now, this is likely going to change timing. We're going to have a little bit more specifics, but I just want people to know to kind of block off Sunday and Sunday night as our best chance for rain if you're trying to make any outdoor plans. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're saying, I want to do that Saturday or Sunday, do it Saturday. Unless you want to dance in the rain, then Sunday is definitely your best chance. Now, once you get this front to pass, I think that you're going to be dealing with some cooler temperatures, potentially some breezier conditions as well. But it's also this week that I want everyone to go leaf peeping up in the Asheville area or the high country and along the Blue Ridge Parkway, because we're literally at the peak. All this red is representing the peak that lasts for about a week, and then some of these areas of purple shows the top of Black Mountain, Grandfather Mountain, now starting to turn brown. So this is the time to do it. If you wait, it's just gonna, it still will be beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's just not gonna be as yellow and red, purples, and the vibrant colors that we all love. Now, you also can wait just a few more weeks, and eventually you're gonna be doing it a little bit closer to the Charlotte area. So right now, Grandfather Mountain, past the peak, around 4,000 feet, we're up to about that peak color. And then Banner Elk and Blowing Rock, you're right on the cusp of a really high color turning over the peak, I would say in the next week and a half. And then Chimney Rock should see this about 2 weeks from now. So plan accordingly. This is a perfect week for doing all of the fall activities if you haven't already done them. Let's get right over to one of our #1 fall fans, Majestic Storm.
Good morning. I think I'm going to head up to the mountains this weekend and check out the fall foliage. Should be a great weekend for that. I-77 here at Tyvola. You can see area roadways, they are getting jam-packed. Still seeing that congestion right around that area because of some construction that took a little longer than expected. No accidents though. We have our typical delays. It's I-85 here, I-77 inbound, 485 out towards Matthews, but also a couple of ongoing wrecks. This one here is now causing a lane to be blocked because of a crash. It's on Independence and Margaret Wallace Way. Keep this one in mind as it is slowing your morning commute down. Lisa.
Majestic, thanks so much. A World War II veteran celebrated a major milestone yesterday, his 102nd birthday. Private First Class Hank Marchand served from 1944 to 1946. He was married to his wife for 62 years before her death last year. Yesterday, he celebrated his birthday with a group of Kentucky veterans, friends, and family. Here's some life advice he shared.
Being good with people. Everybody you meet, be friendly with them. And being kind of what you would say, a loving person, to go out and meet people. And above all, believe in God. Believe in God and the God that you were taught.
He joined the military at just 19 years old. Sage advice there. And he looks pretty good for 102, don't you think?
And the thing is, the greatest generation is dwindling. There's so few of them left. When I think about my grandfather was part of it, he passed away back in the 1980s. You know, like and this guy was 19 when he entered the Army. So there's just so few of them left.
Happy birthday to him for sure. All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC. Let's look at that view of Uptown. Little pinks in there. Chris says it's going to be a perfect day. We'll have more on your weather and traffic coming up.
Well, good morning, good morning. Yesterday we started with cloud cover. Check this out. Beautiful skies. We are perfectly clear. Today is going to be a sunny to a mostly sunny one. At most, you're just going to see a few blips of clouds pointed on any one of these cameras. And Monroe, 55, 56 in Charlotte, and it's actually almost comparable in Boone. You're at 52 degrees. Not too bad. All smiles. Definitely want to have the sunglasses. We have a high temperature of around 80 degrees today. That's where we were yesterday, and that's where we're going to be tomorrow. So almost identical days going forward. We have one rain chance to mention, though. That sticks out on Sunday. We're also going to see some increasing clouds on Friday. No rain with that. And then again on Sunday. That scattered rain, though, is going to take its time overall. Let's get right over to Majestic for your morning commute.
Good morning, everyone. This is I-77 here at Tyvola. Just want to give you another update on this because cars are still moving rather slowly. We had some construction and then a lot of people waking up and all heading in the same direction. You can still see cars are moving. They're just moving rather slowly. You can see the slowdown right there. That's I-77, I-85, and even 485, the inner loop out towards Matthews. Lots of stop and go traffic. No accidents there, just a lot of people waking up and heading in the same direction. One lane is currently blocked, though, on Independence and Margaret Wallace Road. Keep this in mind. We'll have another update here shortly.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. From lesson plans to homework help, AI is already part of how students learn. And now CMS leaders are crafting a policy to make sure the technology enhances education and not replaces it.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning to explain how parents can weigh in on that policy.
CMS's AI policy is just a draft right now, so it has not been finalized, and that's why this public hearing is happening tonight. So the school board can hear from the community before they decide how to move forward on it. Now, according to the district's guidelines, the goal is for AI to be a way to enhance learning, not replace critical thinking, creativity, or human decision making. The policy as it is now includes training for teachers and staff on responsible use, oversight procedures to monitor AI, and protections for student work and privacy. Vice Chair of the CMS board, Dee Rankin, says while they're still developing the policy, any AI tools will be carefully vetted before approval for classroom or outside use.
We have no idea which tools we're talking about. So it's very early in the process. Your work has to be your work. But if we train our teachers and staff and everyone properly on how to use certain tools, what tools that they can use to possibly enhance their learning, then I think this policy will help do that.
Tonight's meeting and public hearing is at 6 p.m. at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center, and a final vote on the policy is set for the next board meeting on October 28th. If approved, the AI policy would take effect immediately, though full implementation, including teacher training and classroom procedures, will take additional time. And Rankin says families, educators, and students are encouraged to look over this draft policy and come to tonight's public hearing with their questions, their concerns, and anything else that they want to let the board know about the policy before the vote in a couple of weeks. I'll send it back to you guys in studio.
So, Destiny, I know they're still going to be trying to figure out how to implement this, but there are some schools already that they're, I guess, testing it out with. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's part of the consideration here. So there are about 30 CMS schools that are doing kind of a pilot program, if you will, to sample AI tools, to use it responsibly, following some of the guidance that is in this draft policy right now. Dee Rankin, he did not go into detail too much about what the pilot program consists of, but again, it is something that they're going to take into consideration whenever they make the decision, make the vote on October 28th about this policy. And obviously they're going to hear feedback from teachers, from students, from families about, what their concerns are, maybe suggesting things that are missing in this policy to kind of make sure that it's being responsibly used. So a lot going into this final decision and then the rollout district-wide.
All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that. I mean, here's the thing, we can't ignore AI. Whether you embrace it or not, it is here.
It's coming.
So
It's here.
Prepare yourself.
Like it or not. All right, Destiny, thank you. Turning back to your forecast right now with Chris.
And good morning, everybody. It is a cooler morning than what we had yesterday, but it's a sunnier morning. So that means we're going to waste no time cranking up Mother Nature's thermostat, getting right around 88 degrees, just like yesterday. 57 around Hickory, 49 around Morganton, and we're still dealing with a lot of patchy, dense fog right over here from Chirac up through Wadesboro, Anson County, over to Stanley County, and here around Albemarle. I want to show you where our lows are going first. So we'll start with our lows, then we'll talk about the highs and all the other jazz in between. 52 is where we should be for this time of year. Notice there is going to be a little bit of a dip that's happening on Friday. I think we'll have more clouds. So flannel weather, is that you? Well, perchance for your Friday morning with temperatures dropping down to around 40, even the upper 30s up in the mountains, but you have the mid to the upper 40s. Right now, Friday is shaping up to be our coldest morning that we've had so far this season. Now, of course, it will get much colder, and soon the 40s are becoming a little bit more of a normal low temperature range. We're just not quite there yet, so let's hold on to the 50s as long as we can. Where if you look at our extended low temperature forecast, we still have a lot of ups and downs. We try to visit the lower 60s again. That also shows how much cloud cover is going to be associated with our next rain chance, and that's going to be on Sunday, and then we're either side of 50 degrees after that. As far as our rain chances and our high temperatures, so this is all on the same graph here. You can see that we have one last surge to 82, and I'm not saying we're not going to get back to the 80s, but as we head into November, high in the 80s actually turns into more of a record temperature compared to the norm. So take advantage of the days like today, tomorrow, what we have on Saturday, because soon the 80s are going to become a thing of the past until we head into 2026. As far as our rain chances go, you can see everything kind of spikes up as the temperatures come down. That's correlation, more clouds, more rain makes sense. That's why it's going to be much cooler on Sunday, and that's going to kick us mainly down into the 70s overall. Coming up, I'm going to show you our extended futurecast, what this looks like. And I also need to give you a tropical update and a fall foliage update, so a lot of extra parts of the forecast to keep you in the know about. But first, Majestic's going to keep you in the know about our morning commute.
Let's get to it. Good morning, everyone. It's a nice start to the day, isn't it? Beautiful clear skies out there. Let's switch things over as we're looking at traffic now. This is I-77 here at York County. You can see area roadways. Yes, they're busy, but at least it's nice and dry. Grab those sunglasses. You're going to want those this morning, and maybe a sweatshirt as you're heading out for that morning commute as well. You can see this is still I-77 where it is still jam-packed. Right at Tyvul as people are heading out the door. We did have some construction earlier that is since wrapped up, but now people are all just heading towards Charlotte. You can see it here in my maps, lots of reds and oranges indicating stop and go traffic. This takes us from Fort Mill all the way into Charlotte, even I-77 if you're coming in from Huntersville. It is going to be rather slow. 485, the inner loop here out towards Matthews. That red is indicating that stop and go traffic. I double checked to make sure we didn't have any accidents here. We don't. Just a lot of people up and at them starting their day. One area that I am watching carefully for you because of an ongoing crash is right here. It's on Independence Boulevard heading northbound at Margaret Wallace Road. A lane is blocked because of it. Again, this is something to keep in mind if you are taking Independence inbound. We'll have another check on those area roadways all coming up here shortly. Ben.
Now to some major news for millions of folks here in North Carolina. The governor announcing the state has erased more than $6.5 billion in medical debt. That's just in the past year. The governor says the program lifts financial burdens from families and helps them instead focus on their health. The initiative, which started under former Governor Roy Cooper, involves all 99 hospitals in the state and strengthens charity care policies to prevent future debt. Governor Stein calls it a life-changing effort.
People who now have a chance to get their health and their financial lives back on track. So let's keep this momentum going. Let's keep putting money back in people's pockets, not leaving them high and dry. Let's keep investing in people's health. I'll now bring forward Dev Sangbai.
Now, if you're eligible, you don't need to do anything specifically. Hospitals are going to send out letters notifying patients of their debt cancellation.
down to 2.
Starship has landed.
What you just heard were the celebratory cheers after Elon Musk's SpaceX completed its 11th Starship test flight, which ended with a successful splashdown in the Indian Ocean. The rocket launched from South Texas around 6:30 Central Time yesterday. NASA says the mission marks a major milestone towards landing Americans on the moon's South Pole. Right now, you're about to hear the moment the rocket launched. We brought it to you live right here as it happened on WCNC Plus. Take a listen.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Vehicles pitching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Booster and ship, nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
Again, that video from WCNC Plus yesterday during that launch. This is the final test flight of this Starship rocket before SpaceX debuts a more higher scale prototype for the next mission. And you can watch that full launch and the splashdown right here on WCNC Plus. It doesn't matter how many times you've watched it. It's still so fascinating, right?
So excited the advances that we're making seemingly on a month-to-month basis.
Right?
You know?
Also, over at NASA, about 550 jobs are being cut. That's about 10% of the staff. The director of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California says it's because of a workforce realignment, not the ongoing government shutdown. Those cuts will affect positions across NASA's technical, business, and support departments. Employees will be notified about their status today.
In Portland, protests continue as the Ninth Circuit Court weighs whether National Guard troops can be deployed to that city. Oregon Democrats say the move is unnecessary. Local leaders there say that the demonstrations, largely peaceful, are protected by the First Amendment. Many protesters wearing inflatable costumes, holding signs, and chanting and dancing outside the immigration building there. Leaders worry the arrival of the National Guard could only escalate tensions.
I'm concerned about that prospect, and the president could at any time invoke the Insurrection Act, and it is completely unwarranted.
We came down here to sing peacefully, to show ICE and the federal government that we are not rioting, we are not being dangerous.
A decision from the court is expected any day. 7:26 right now on WCNC Plus. Looking gorgeous here today. Not exactly the case, though, in Northern California. Take a look at this. First snow of the season fell in California's northern Sierra yesterday. While it's stuck in the ground in some areas, the warm pavement from the fall caused a lot of it to melt pretty quickly. And for the next couple of days, Northern California expected to see rain mixed in with some of that snow, which is always a combination.
What kind of combination is it?
In Southern California, flood watches are in effect down in LA and Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's like, blah.
It's so, I remember when I lived in the Bay Area and you could look off into the distance and see the snow-capped mountains, but you don't want that rain, snow mix.
Especially not right, especially when we have the weather we have here in the Carolinas.
Right?
Yeah, I toured San Jose State when I was looking for colleges, and the big appeal was, I was like, oh yeah, no, you can go surfing in the morning and then go snowboarding at night. I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm terrible at both, so it didn't really work for me, so I went to Florida State. But no, it is crazy because I was also looking at some snow in Colorado and Wyoming. So 'tis the season that those snow-prone areas, especially the higher elevations, are starting to see it. Luckily not us.
Nope.
We're good.
Thank you.
We're talking about perfection, the exact opposite of that. But let's head to the East Coast now. And we have no snow in sight, thank goodness. And also, thank goodness the setup that we just saw for that nor'easter wasn't during the winter time, because we would have seen some big time snows. All you snow lovers probably do not like my statement that I just said here. This mess of fronts and L's that you're seeing here is essentially the two low pressure systems that rolled through, giving us rain and some pretty intense winds along the Outer Banks overall, but those are now starting to roll their way further off towards the east, so good news. So our current temperatures are certainly cooler than where we were yesterday. We're at 56 degrees right now. It's 7:48, the official time, so you don't have to check your watch or your phone. And at this time, we were about 4 degrees warmer overall. And a lot of you still haven't headed to the bus stop yet, just letting you know. I think it's a sweatshirt morning, short sleeves, and the shorts are gonna get you by just fine. You can put the sweatshirt in the backpack for a little bit later on. Don't leave it at the playground, as I did, I swear, once a week as a child, but I'm also a mess. 80 degrees is what you expect for a high today, and that's right around where we were yesterday. We're going to do that again tomorrow, and then eventually we're going to fluctuate really between the mid 70s to the lower 80s. So really a great forecast overall. Almost the exact same picture as well. We're looking at those beautiful Carolina blues with maybe a couple of clouds here and there on and off throughout the afternoon. So I've shown you this fun graphic showing it's all smiles, all good here. But this is also a great time to head up to the mountains, because this is what the color is starting to look like. Now, I got these pictures. This one's actually from last year from Blowing Rock. They're now starting to head into that color, and you're especially seeing this picture. This one's more recent. This is actually from just below Grandfather Mountain. If you're heading up to around this area, temperatures are going to be right around 70 degrees with wall-to-wall sunshine. It's perfect. And the winds are a lot lighter comparatively where they were, so less of a chilly breeze. So if you're heading up there, this is the time to do it, because we're about to hit really our fall peak. And here, let me show you this map. This will be the final thing I have before we leave you, and I'll give you a full forecast at the beginning of the next hour. Right now, we're past the peak on top of Grandfather Mountain, so that's about a mile up. Anywhere between about 4,000 and 5,000 feet, that's around its peak color right now, so that's in many of the higher elevation spots here along the Blue Ridge Parkway. But some of the lower elevation spots, a little bit closer to Banner Elk, is more of a high color. That's still fantastic. But we have a week window now. That red goes to that maroon color very fast. So if you're trying to make plans, oh, maybe I'll do it next week, just letting you know it's not going to be as breathtaking. Now, if you were just planning on going to around Boone and Blowing Rock 2 weeks from now, they're going to have their red peak. And then it continues to go down. And then you can also translate over to Chimney Rock, which is a lower elevation and close to about 2,500 feet. They'll likely see theirs in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And it's typically at the beginning of November that we have our peak here around the Charlotte area. So we're not quite there yet, but just letting you know, this is the time. Get all those fall activities done before you know, because once November hits, things start to change big time. Hopefully no big changes in traffic, but let's double check with Majestic, see how it's going.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful start to the day. That always makes that morning commute a little better, even when we do have a lot of traffic, just like what we're seeing right here on I-77. Lots of people out on those roads on this Tuesday morning. Want to let you know about a few things that I'm really watching carefully for you. Want to show you my map. First things first, yes, we have a lot of our typical delays. We have slow moving conditions, I-77, I-85, I-45, everything that we would expect now that it is 7:51. Look at this, though. The the inner loop of 485 out towards Matthews, all red. Stop and go traffic really from Mint Hill through Matthews. I double checked to make sure there wasn't any accidents, and there's currently not. However, not too far away from that, still in Matthews, we have a new crash. It's right here on Pineville Matthews Road. Southbound lanes being impacted by that at Echo Forest Drive. And then to the north, Independence always is busy this time of the day, but currently a lane is blocked because of a crash on Margaret Wallace Road. You can see how dark red this is. This is actually the outbound lanes. Both inbound and outbound are moving slowly, but the crash is on those outbound lanes. Watch for that if you are taking Independence this morning.
Take a look at this. A maze in North Dakota has set a Guinness World Record for the largest temporary wooden maze in the world. A Guinness official verified that record last week, along with the plaque that's awarded. The massive maze spans more than 40,000 square feet. Now, there was no previous record, so this is a new category. The closest comparison to this maze is one in Denmark, and it's about a third of the size.
For the family that does the Great Maze, it's really like just a point of pride. They know this is an incredible achievement, and Guinness World Records can come in and say, you know what, it is officially amazing.
Visitors who want to navigate that maze can also take part in a scavenger hunt on the property.
Over in California, an engineer and gardening enthusiast won the top prize at the annual pumpkin weighing contest. Brandon Dawson's massive pumpkin weighed at 2,300 pounds. It's roughly the same weight as a big bison. Last year, Dawson lost the contest by 6 pounds, but this year he made a comeback and was crowned this year's winner.
I believe this is held in Half Moon Bay, California. It's like a big deal out there for all the people to bring in those big pumpkins. And we do have a resident pumpkin expert among the four of us.
That's right.
Don't call me an expert. They all peaked in July and early August, and you have no idea how quickly pumpkins rot in the middle of summer.
I was getting excited thinking we could all go pick a pumpkin, but
right? We
no.
Head over to Chris's.
An accidental expert.
They were gorgeous. I was 1% of the way there to a record-breaking pumpkin.
1%.
Yeah, 1%. They got I had 3 pumpkins that weighed about 65 pounds total.
Wow.
Yeah, they were beautiful, just not for July. Or,
Maybe you should have put them in the freezer.
For those.
who has a freezer that big, Majestic?
Yeah.
Next year I'll be a little bit better, but Kim does not want to grow another pumpkin patch.
Can't say we blame.
Right. But to those who want to celebrate in July.
Yeah.
Your guy.
You should have had a Halloween party in July. That would have been a lot of fun.
Real quick, I probably asked about 50 people if they wanted a pumpkin, and everyone said no.
I think you asked on the air a couple of
No,
times.
I did.
Hey,
I thought there would be one person who's like, sure, Chris, I like one of your pumpkins. None of you.
You never asked me.
Yes,
I would have
did.
said yes.
Yes, I did ask you.
In July?
He didn't, or else I would have said yes.
I didn't ask you.
Nobody wants a sympathy pumpkin.
No.
Well, I asked the whole studio, and you could have been there. I'm just saying. No beef here. But now they are rotted. But do you know what? This is pretty cool. Moving on from my sorrow.
Yeah, take a look at this. It's, as you can imagine, going viral.
Wow.
This is not a house on fire.
Looks like it.
These are decorations. We'll explain coming up right here on WCNC Plus.
Oh, isn't that nice? Check out these Carolina blues wherever you're looking. This is going to be our sky. We might at most just pick up a cloud or one, as you can see. One. Oh, no, that's actually just a reflection. Never mind. It looked like a cloud. Well, we are going to see clouds that kind of look like a little reflection that I was just duped by. 52 is our dew point. That is super comfortable. 57 degrees is our current temperature. So we've gained 1 degree over the last hour. We have temperatures getting up to the upper 70s right about 4 p.m. And we're going to have an absolute high right around 80 to 81, just like what we had yesterday. Now overnight tonight, down to the 50s, 80 tomorrow, so a near carbon copy. And then we're falling down through the 70s. Check this out, really more 70s than 80s going forward. Some great days and even some lows in the upper 40s Friday and this coming Tuesday. Let's go to River Majestic for this morning's commute.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful start to the day. We have a whole lot of sunshine out there. Grab those sunglasses, maybe a light sweatshirt as well. Drive times are just about where they should be for this time of the day. About 1 hour if you're coming in from Salisbury, and just over 30 minutes if your commute takes you from Matthews to Charlotte. This is I-77 out towards Tyvola. Very slow-moving traffic. No accidents there, just a lot of people all heading in the same direction. Similar setup right here. 45, the inner loop out towards Matthews. Stop and go traffic. Make sure you're allowing for plenty of drive time to get to where you need to be. One accident right here.
Streaming live right now at 8 a.m. here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington.
This morning, Charlotte City Council moving forward with the process of appointing 9 members to what would be a newly proposed transportation authority.
Now, this group will oversee how funds are spent if that 1% sales tax passes in November. However, there is still some pushback. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane joins us live this morning to explain.
Yeah, good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. Good Tuesday morning, folks. Basically, this pushback is from at least one council member who says, hey, well, we're moving a little bit ahead with this move, having this board already, having these folks apply and get appointed before we actually know how that 1-cent sales tax referendum will go. Now, the city council has received more than 126 applications as of their meeting that they held last night. And they say now it's time to start the review process for what would be the new Transportation Advisory Board. Now, this group would help oversee how funds are spent. That's if voters approve that 1-cent sales tax referendum. But before giving the green light, council members debated how the process should work, particularly the fact that the mayor would have 2 of the 9 appointments at her discretion. Some members did raise concerns about maintaining fairness, transparency, and representation across the city. In the end, the council approved the process and will now narrow down the applications to the finalists.
We started the interviews on December 5th,
I mean, November 5th, you still would have time. I mean, that's just something to think about from a practical perspective. That was just, I mean, it's a week, and then if it didn't pass, I mean, we really are moving forward. We really should take transparency into consideration when we're hearing from people. I mean, it's not to appear tone deaf.
That was Renee Johnson saying that just if they moved it back to right after that vote, before to do this process after the vote, and we know if there will be a need for that board, she said they then have enough time to do it. The city attorney talked about the reason why they chose it, and in the end they decided to go forth with this process as it is. Of course, those all of those applications have been submitted. The deadline is already passed, and now they'll go about the selection process. We're right here in the south end of Charlotte. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
And Richard, you said, I guess some of them described it as you're putting the cart before the horse because we don't know yet if it's actually going to pass in November.
That is correct. That was the concern, but they're going to go forward with the process.
And we will see what happens.
That's right. All right, Richard. Thanks, sir.
Richard.
All right, 8:03 right now on WCNC Plus, and Chris has what he describes as the perfect forecast.
Perfectly blue skies, perfect feel to the day, and highs right around 80 degrees. Now, yes, I understand some people like it cooler, some people like it hotter, but if you just look at overall how the day feels and how the day looks, it's near perfection or absolutely perfect, in my opinion at least. Check it out. We do have some fog down to the surface here in the valleys of Lowellsville and right here around Anson County across our Mr. Sparky Carolina camera network. It's down to a quarter mile in Wadesboro. That's one of the lower visibilities I've seen so far this morning. It's just been this little corridor. That's where we've seen all of our dense fog, at least closer to home. We've also seen a consistent below a quarter mile visibility right around Bristol, Tennessee. Meanwhile, everything in between, A-OK. And I would say this is amazing. Look at this. Monroe, Lake Norman, Charlotte, Dallas, all of those Carolina blues. Enjoy the day, seriously. Well, don't ignore the upper left. The Buxton camera looks like it finally came down. I showed you these cameras about this time yesterday. The roads were completely covered in sand, this one especially, so I don't know what happened there. But things are improving, and they have actively reopened many parts of Highway 12. So it's almost fully back open. Hey, it could have been a lot worse. Thank goodness that didn't become a stronger system. Our current temperatures right now are at 57 degrees in Charlotte, rocking your morning low, 52 right around Boone, which, by the way, Boone, I think you might be cooler around 11 p.m. So I think you're actually going to hit your low temperature later on this evening, as you have 24 hours to hit your low for the day. And then our highs today are also going to be very similar to what we had yesterday, right around 80 degrees. Yesterday, the winds were also really blowing these flags here. You're going to have an occasional gust up to 20, but it is much calmer overall. Not too bad of a forecast. And really over the next few days, each day is the same. Each morning waking up in the 50s, and each day highs right around 80 degrees. Now we have the mid 70s come Thursday, increasing clouds for your Friday. Still a wonderful day. We'll avoid the rain, and we've been calling this the last pool day. 82 degrees on Saturday. Yes, there is a chance that we get back into the 80s, but it becomes more and more of a rarity the deeper we go into October, and certainly as we get into November. Once you get to Monday, we're talking about the mid 70s returning, and then that overnight, Monday heading into Tuesday, even though I know that's technically day 8, we're waking up in the 40s just as we're going to do on Friday. So that wraps up our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Let's get over to traffic now with Majestic.
Let's get to it. It's beautiful outside this morning, isn't it? We have plenty of sunshine no matter where you're traveling this morning, so that'll always make a busy morning commute a little bit better. There's some of our live cameras here, not seeing anything too majorly concerning. However, it's definitely not perfect out there. Here's some of our drive times. Now going to take you about 1 hour if you're coming in from Gastonia, 34 from Matthews. You can see all of the red, especially right there on I-85 in Gaston County. Much the same if you're coming mainly inbound on I-77. 45 continues to be very slow though. No accidents out towards Matthews. We do have still this active crash right here. It's an incident on Pineville Matthews Road. Southbound lanes being impacted here at Echo Forest Drive. In addition to that, as we head to the north now, kind of northeast of Charlotte, you can see a lane is blocked because of a crash. It's going to be out there on University City Boulevard. Seeing minimal impacts with that. I'll let you know once it is cleared. Once we zoom it out, I just wanted to show you what I-77 currently looks like still. That stop and go traffic, especially as you're getting closer to Charlotte. And then, yes, we do have those delays in Gaston County, specifically on I-85. So a lot going on this morning. Here's a live camera. This is coming in at I-77, heading toward Charlotte. You can see this is just slow moving. I did double check again to make sure we weren't seeing any accidents or any more construction. It has all wrapped up. This was a watch spot because of construction earlier this morning, but now people are just making their typical Tuesday morning commute. That's what I have for now. We'll have another check on those area roadways, Lisa, coming up in a little while.
Majestic, thanks. Right now, CMPD investigating a deadly shooting at a South Park apartment. We brought you this first as breaking news yesterday right here on WCNC+. A woman was found shot inside the gated garage of the Hazel apartment complex. She was rushed to the hospital but died. CMPD shared it does not believe there is currently a threat to the community. However, the violence has some neighbors on edge and questioning their safety.
I know that parking gate, if someone is right behind you, they can follow behind you. So I don't know if that's something that our apartment complex can change, of, you know, having one car at a time come through with the key card.
I hate to see it here, and I hate that it's going to leave a mark on all the other people that live here, but I just hope that they find who did it.
Anyone with information is asked to contact police. At this time, no arrest has been made and no suspect description has been released.
Morning commuters in West Charlotte, listen up. Construction is underway on a highly anticipated interstate improvement project, I-45 South merging at I-85 headed into Gaston County. Now, drivers say the project is long overdue, with that area becoming a constant point of congestion. And not just during the morning rush either, all the time.
I usually will sometimes go more of the like side roads, but even then, I mean, everybody, because there's so much congestion on the highway, people will take the side roads too, so then it doesn't even matter. It's just kind of like, you just have to accept it, you know, listen to some music, put on some podcasts.
The NC DOT project will widen and lengthen the ramp. Work is taking place during nighttime hours to limit morning backups. The project's expected to finish in 2028.
As we head to break, here is an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey, our team tests products every day. We get rid of the rejects. We only bring you the best. This is the Zoom broom. It's kind of half broom, half leaf blower. Brand new leaf blower technology. Look how lightweight this is. Only 2 pounds. And when you compare it, this is the leaf blower I have normally. Look how big this thing is, and it's much heavier and bulkier. It has batteries like that. This one, you just charge with a USB-C, done, and it's cordless. Look at the commercial on this. It's actually really satisfying, looks really easy, blowing everything away. We want to see if it actually works, so here we go. I'm going to blow away some leaves here. Look, wow, it works just like the commercial, just like that. Blow the leaves wherever you want them. I have some dirt over here as well, blowing the dirt. Now, by the way, this is really cool on this. Come on in for a second. You can also turn it to high turbo mode, like that. If you have some really stubborn stuff, look at that. Look at it getting right off the driveway. This is really cool. Very satisfying. Got some mulch, I have some wood chips over here. And of course, the traditional old grass clippings like this as well. The great thing about the Zoom broom I was reading, this goes for 30 minutes straight without another charge. And if you're doing this for more than 30 minutes, you're probably doing it wrong. We have a deal on this for you today. You know I always try to save you money. It's normally $219. Today for you, only $149, 32% off. Scan the QR code on your screen or go to shoptvdeals.com.
8:12 now. You are streaming live on WCNC Plus. This morning, President Trump is back in Washington after signing a peace deal between Israel and Hamas yesterday. The president addressed global leaders at a peace summit in Egypt after a visit to Israel, where he met with released hostages and their families.
NBC's Alice Barr has more on the president's return and that deal.
This morning, as President Trump returns to the White House from a Middle East trip that sought to cement peace in Gaza.
Historic day, to put it mildly.
The final 20 living Israeli hostages are waking up at home for the first time in 2 years. Joyful family reunions nourishing a nation hollowed out by their long and painful absence. Images of Hamas terrorists abducting Noah Argamani as her boyfriend, Avinatan Or, was also dragged away, were among the most searing from the October 7th attacks. Noah was rescued last year. Avinatan leaping into her arms upon his release. While in Gaza, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners also released through the peace deal, all returning to a war-ravaged territory. President Trump joined 20 other heads of state for a peace summit in Egypt, seeking long-term solutions.
We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building.
The president thanking neighboring Arab states for committing to helping rebuild.
I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together.
Though so far, Israel and Hamas have agreed to just phase 1 of President Trump's 20-point peace plan, with looming questions about Hamas disarming and leaving power, and who will govern Gaza through an uncertain future. Another outstanding question, the return of the remains of deceased hostages. Only 4 of 28 believed to be held by Hamas were returned on Monday. Long term, when asked about Palestinian statehood, the two-state solution, President Trump said the focus right now is on rebuilding Gaza. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Approaching 8:15 right now on WCNC Plus. We're back with your forecast and your morning commute. .817 right now in Massachusetts. Take a look. A dramatic rescue unfolded off the coast after reports of a man overboard in some frigid waters. Folks on a nearby ferry spotted the victim and helped rescuers keep an eye on him in the choppy water.
That's right. Mary Saldana shows us the moment that rescue happened.
This is video of a Coast Guard rescue swimmer and the man he plucked from the chilly water being hoisted to safety. It's not clear if this man was a passenger on one of the Steamship Authority ferries, but passengers on an incoming ferry spotted him just off Woods Hole around 3 p.m.
Someone yelled out, "Man overboard," and in unison, everybody on that boat just got up and ran to the side of the boat.
Roy Mundy says it was surreal and shocking.
You could actually see him. He was only about 5, maybe 10 yards away from the boat and just kind of bobbing up and down looking at the boat. He wasn't waving his hands like he was in distress. He was kind of just, floating, bobbing around.
The crew threw out life rings and circled repeatedly, frantically looking for the man who they'd lost sight of in the choppy seas and poor visibility.
And it was like all hands on deck. All the passengers inside were crammed up to the windows, all trying to spot him. I was outside with my friend going back and forth between both sides of the boat trying to find him. There was a bunch of people. They had binoculars out. There was at least a dozen people that I saw that were very, very distraught, in tears.
The Mass Environmental Police, Falmouth Fire, Harbor Master, and the Coast Guard sprang into action. In the end, the crew of a Coast Guard helicopter out of Joint Base Cape Cod spotted that man and lifted him to safety.
Well, thanks a lot. We are looking at a chance for rain really heading into Sunday. So I want to start here. I want to go through the potential for rain as we work our way through the weekend. By the way, there's a whole lot of nothing in the short term, but watch what's going to happen heading into your Saturday. And this is why we've been saying, hey, maybe this is the last pool day, because this looks to be the warmest day, seeing that sun come back out. So the little stint of clouds we have is just going to be on Friday. But then watch this. Heading into Saturday night to Sunday, we're looking at an increase of cloud cover, where I think it's especially by your afternoon that we're starting to see a change. Now, this is long-range models, so there's a good chance that this could change up to 12 hours. We'll get more details. This is also going to be a decently strong cold front. Not the strongest, but maybe you could actually even have a chance for a rumble of thunder embedded with this. Right now, it looks to be just rain, and then this will likely last heading into your Monday morning. By the time you get to your Monday morning commute, likely it should be fully clear. And things are also trending. This is a pretty quick moving system, so it's just going to be tough for the timing. That's why I've been telling people, if you have any weekend plans, well, why don't you just bank on Saturday being the day compared to Sunday, because there's too many what ifs and question marks. And if you're making plans, question marks aren't always the great thing to have out there. Current temperatures right now, we are at 57 degrees in Charlotte, 49 degrees around Lincoln, and 51 degrees around Salisbury. Compared to this time yesterday, well, the data dropped off, so we're going to ignore that graphic. But I actually sent this to my wife because you need to prepare the kids for school today. High of 80 degrees today. It's one of those mornings. We're on the chilly side, sweatshirt in the morning, throw in the backpack, and then shorts and short sleeves likely for later on. And we're either side of 80 degrees over the next 7. It doesn't get much better than this for a forecast for the middle part of October. So please, please, please get outside and enjoy it. You know that Majestic and I are doing so follow our lead. Majestic, take it away.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully everyone can get outside, get some fresh air, even if it's just on your lunch break. Want to show you a couple of our live camera shots. Look at this. This is just moving so slow all morning long. This is I-77 out there heading towards Charlotte. No accidents, just a lot of people all having the same idea, heading in the same direction. I-85, they're out there towards Gaston County. It's a similar setup there. You can see the reds and the oranges, just indicating where we currently have slow moving conditions. 45 out there in Matthews, still very stop and go. Still watching this active crash here. Pineville Matthews Road, southbound lanes being impacted there at Echo Forest Drive. In addition to that, as we head up to the north just a bit, minor ongoing impacts here as a lane is blocked. This is going to be on University City Boulevard. You can see some of that yellow there, meaning that at times you may move a little slower than you would want to. Look at this though. Want to show you all of the slow moving conditions again up and down I-77, but mainly those inbound lanes are going to be slow moving for your Tuesday morning commute. Guys.
Majestic, thanks. Meet the 9-year-old Dodgers fan who's going viral for cheering with everything he's got, heart, soul, and all.
This morning we're hearing from his family who couldn't be prouder of their young superfan.
This is the now viral video of 9-year-old Dallas Perez on his feet at Dodger Stadium, raising the roof, leading the chants, clapping till his hands probably hurt, never even once sitting down for every second of all 11 innings of last week's walk-off win versus the Phillies.
Oh, I knew it was going to be a great game from the first or second inning
because I saw both pitchers just having their A game, and I was just like, it's going to be a good game.
So, Big D, as he's called, says he knew his job.
Like, I just wanted to just be the loud one.
It was the 4th Dodger game he'd ever been to in person and Game 4 of the NLDS. We joined his Dodger-clad family tonight.
Let's go Dodgers!
Mom, Dad, sister Penelope, and Granddad, the OG fan in the family, to watch Game 1 versus the Brewers and to recap Dallas's performance, which he took very seriously.
That was like my main thing, just trying to get the crowd back into the game after we gave up that one run.
His unrelenting spirit and stamina that night started to get noticed by his mom and by other bleeders of blue in their section.
There was even times I myself would call him over, like, baby, take a break, like drink some water, sit down. And he was like, no, Mom, no, I have to keep going. And he did not take a break.
At times, the crowd was still quiet and he wouldn't give up. He would just keep getting him going. And sooner or later, the whole crowd went with his vibe.
And when it was over, the crowd went wild. Notoriously superstitious fans giving the young hype man credit for his part.
And you were also kind of emotional at the end of the game. Can you tell me why that was?
Yeah, because it was just like so fun, because everybody was just like, you won because of you, like, and everybody was like giving me high fives and carrying me. It was just so cool.
Mom's proud post has gone viral with tens of thousands liking his determination. You know who else noticed? The Dodgers. They liked the post and sent a message telling Dallas the win was for him.
Yeah, it's just so cool how everybody's just like looking, like I wouldn't have got there without everybody just like liking the video, commenting, and it was just so cool.
And his journal entry this weekend, it was titled The Best Day of My Life. Yeah!
You said it.
That's so cute. If I could imagine Chris when he was little, I think that I would imagine him being just like that little boy.
You made the point.
I did make the point. I mean, it was great that the Dodgers kind of liked the post and commented. Give him some tickets,
right?
A bat, some signed
swag,
jersey, something, right?
Yeah.
Now, and Majestic, that kid is much cooler than I was at 11. I'm just going to say. I'm gonna
So passionate, though.
No, but, and see, maybe it's just the dad, and maybe just hearing the dad talk about the kid, like, kind of got to me there.
Yes.
Like such a proud moment to see a kid, like, break the mold and be like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was cool. Way to go, kid.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right here on WCNC Plus as we take a live look right now over uptown Charlotte. Shaping up to be a really nice day today. Another check your traffic and morning commute as well as your forecast coming up on the other side of this break.
Doesn't get much better than this. Get ready for another spectacular day. We're now on the warm up. We have 57 degrees right now, gaining a degree compared to just an hour ago. 53 for you in Boone and 52 for you in Albemarle. Today's high is right around 80 degrees, just like yesterday. And you might pick a few clouds here and there, but all in all, those beautiful Carolina blues sticking with us. Low tomorrow, very similar to what we have this morning and right now. We will see a couple of chillier mornings, though, on Friday and this coming Tuesday. Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast showing the mid-70s on Thursday and Friday, and then we have the lower 80s on Saturday. This right now, we've been saying, could this be the last pool day? It's definitely going to be the warmest over the next 7. The only chance that we have for rain is right now Sunday. That's going to be Sunday and Sunday night for the time being. But hey, mid-70s to lower 80s, that's a good-looking 7-day forecast. Let's get right over to Majestic.
Good Tuesday morning, everyone. It is a beautiful start to that morning commute, but boy, traffic is moving rather slowly. This is I-77. If you're heading towards Uptown, this is what you have to look forward to. This is right around exit 5, so make sure you are planning accordingly and allow for a little extra drive time because it is jam-packed this morning. Over 30 minutes if you're coming in from Matthews or Belmont. You can see our maps right here. We have slow-moving traffic, especially I-77 inbound. I-85 also seeing some congestion. Not to forget, we are also watching this. This is 485, the inner loop right here out towards Matthews. Stop and go traffic, no accidents, just a lot of people up and at 'em. But we do have this crash. It's going to be southbound Pineville Matthews Road at Echo Forest Drive. Have a great day and travel safe.
You are streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. From lesson plans to homework help, AI is already part of how students learn. Well, now CMS leaders are crafting a policy to make sure the technology enhances education and does not replace it.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning to explain how parents can actually weigh in on the district's policy. Destiny.
Yeah, good morning. CMS's AI policy is still in draft form. It's not finalized yet, but tonight's public hearing is a chance for the school board to hear from the community before deciding how to move forward. Now, according to the district's guidelines, the goal is for AI to be a way to enhance learning, not replace critical thinking, creativity, or human decision making. The policy as it stands now includes training for teachers and staff on responsible use, oversight procedures to monitor AI, and protections for student work and privacy. Vice Chair of the CMS Board, Dee Rankin, says while they're still developing the policy, any AI tools will be carefully vetted before approval for classroom or outside use.
We have no idea which tools we're talking about. So it's very early in the process. Your work has to be your work. But if we train our teachers and staff and everyone properly on how to use certain tools, what tools that they can use to possibly enhance their learning, then I think this policy will help do that.
Tonight's meeting and public hearing is at 6 p.m. here at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center, and a final vote on the policy is set for the next board meeting on October 28th. If approved, the AI policy would take effect immediately, though full implementation, including teacher training and classroom procedures, will take additional time. Now, Rankin says families, educators, and even students are encouraged to take a look at that draft policy and come to tonight's public hearing prepared with questions or suggestions and concerns for the board before they make that vote. I'll send it back to you guys live here from Uptown.
I'm sorry, but just to put a finer point on it, there are schools already out there using AI and utilizing it in ways. We're talking, what you're talking about is sort of a specific, detailed, district-wide policy.
Yeah, so right now there's no classroom use of AI district-wide. There's programs that have AI built into it, but when it comes to generative AI, that's what the policy is basically addressing. So right now there are 30 CMS schools that are kind of called champion AI schools. I believe that's how Dr. Crystal Hill put it in an interview that we did with her. And then Dee Rankin said they're going through a pilot program right now. So basically this is how they're kind of testing out this policy. They're sampling AI tools. They're using it responsibly as laid out by the guidelines of this policy. And this is what they're going to take kind of these 30 schools and take any feedback from them, how they're using it, and use that to kind of move it out to a district-wide use of AI. So that could be just thinking about some ways that it could be used in terms of developing a lesson plan. It could be classroom work. It could be homework. So these programs, they didn't talk about specifically what AI tools will be used. They said it's still very early in developing the policy. They didn't talk about exactly what this program or what these 30 schools are doing specifically, but this is something that they're going to take into consideration along with the feedback from the public tonight, and that will help them develop a policy, again, so that they know that this is something that's going to enhance their learning experience and not take away from that face-to-face instruction.
All right, Destiny, thanks so much. And I would only add it's important to get that parent's perspective because, I'm sure parents have their own thoughts and opinions about AI, and you want to make sure that you understand what the school is doing so that you're working collaboratively, as you said, the best way to enhance it for the students' learning.
All right, Destiny, thank you. Appreciate it. 8:34 right now, turning back to your forecast with Chris.
Thank you very much, Benjamin. We are looking at a beautiful day. Loving those Carolina blues. 55 degrees right here around Statesville, 51 here in Morganton, and 53 over in Boone. So all of us pretty much near each other, anywhere from 51 to 57 degrees. Not too bad. And we are now starting to see a really nice pattern that those muggy days are almost going to be put in the rearview mirror. There's still a chance we can have another spike. It's still technically hurricane season. That could drag in more tropical air. But as of right now, you're going to remain comfortable over the next 7 days. I've been saying it. Maybe I'm overdoing it, but I'm also dramatic and a hype man. But over the next few days, realistically, will be some of the best string of days that we've had all year long. And here's my reasoning. Sunshine, comfortable temperatures, comfortable conditions, and it just looks great. You're talking about sunshine. Yeah, we're a little bit on the cooler side to start off each morning, but right around 80 degrees each day with sunny skies is ideal for human comfort. So it's really going to be perfect. And you could be on the breezy side from time to time, but our emoji meter is agreeing with me. Seeing the smiley face with the sunglasses, this could be you over the next few days. Our fall foliage forecast also going to be picture perfect as well. We have the mid to the upper 60s, right around 70 degrees for a high. If you are heading up to the high country, and just note, it's really this week that is your best chance, I think, to see the best view of the Blue Ridge Parkway. But realistically, you're still going to have a lot of different color leaves, from the yellows to the reds through the Blue Ridge Parkway over the next couple of weeks. I just think that really we're in the sweet spot right now over the next 7 days. And speaking of, our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast keeps temperatures really within the same zone, anywhere from the mid 70s to the lower 80s going forward. 2 days stand out to me, though. We have one Friday. We have a weak front that's going to try to slide its way from a different direction. That could chill us down to our coolest morning of the year so far. And then also Sunday. Sunday is actually a warmer low. That's the warmest morning that we're going to have going over the next 7. But this is the only chance for rain that we have over the next 7 days. So this 7 day that you're seeing up here, it doesn't get much better for this time of the year. So I want everyone to take advantage. I'm just going to keep on repeating it until you start making some outdoor plans. Majestic's already done it. She knows that that it doesn't get much better than this. So enjoy.
Yeah, it's nice. It feels perfect outside. Lots of sunshine. That always helps for your morning commute as well, especially when you're stuck in traffic. You can see this is live camera coming in on I-77. This is heading towards Uptown around exit 5 here. It's been slow moving all morning long. 57 degrees. Might be a good morning to roll those windows down, get some nice fresh air. You can see as we're looking at those drive times, going to take you just over 30 minutes if you're coming in from Belmont, right around 30 if you're coming in from Matthews this morning. Still lots of red out there. 45, you can see it here from Clear Creek to Matthews, even from Pineville all the way up towards Berry Hill. Red is what we're seeing now. It's 8:37, so we're still in the thick of things. You can see the inner loop right here on 485 out near Matthews is stop and go at this point. Still no wrecks, but there is a wreck not too far away from it. It's going to be on Pineville Matthews Road at Echo Forest Drive. Minimal impacts with that. A new crash right here, though. It's on Sharon Amity Road at Central Ave. Keep this one in mind. It's our newest crash, and we're starting to see more yellows and oranges pop up, meaning that cars are being impacted by this crash here on Sharon Amity Road. Ben.
All right, Majestic, thank you for that. 8:38 right now. Now to some major news for millions of folks across the state of North Carolina. Governor Stein announcing the state has erased more than $6.5 billion in medical debt, and that's just in the past year. The governor says the program lifts financial burdens from families and allows them to focus instead on their health. The initiative, which started under former Governor Cooper, involves all 99 hospitals in the state and strengthens what's called charity care policies so that future debt doesn't become a problem and just repeat the cycle. Governor Stein calls it a life-changing effort.
People who now have a chance to get their health and their financial lives back on track. So let's keep this momentum going. Let's keep putting money back in people's pockets, not leaving them high and dry. Let's keep investing in people's health. I'll now bring forward Deb saying.
Folks eligible for relief don't need to do anything or take any action. Hospitals are going to reach out, sending out letters notifying patients about their debt cancellation.
SpaceX pulling off a major Starship test, ending with a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. We'll show you that launch and the milestone moment next.
Three down to two. Starship has landed.
What you just heard were celebratory cheers after Elon Musk's SpaceX completed its 11th Starship test flight, which ended with a successful splashdown in the Indian Ocean. The rocket launched from South Texas around 6:30 p.m. Central Time yesterday. NASA says the mission marks a major milestone toward landing Americans on the moon's south pole. Right now, you're about to hear the moment that rocket launched. We brought it to you last night live on our Impact News stream. Take a listen.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Go Super Heavy. Go Starship. Thanks for all the historic flights, Pad 1.
Eagles catching downrange. Booster Raptor chamber pressure nominal.
Booster and ship nominal power and telemetry.
All right, we are about 45 seconds into flight. We're still getting the rattle here at Star Factory. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines lit on Super Heavy as it arcs across the Gulf. Coming up next on Max Q.
Just incredible to watch. It really never gets old. This is the final test flight of this Starship rocket before SpaceX debuts a more higher scaled prototype for its next mission. And you can watch that full launch and the splashdown right here on WCNC+.
In Portland, protests continue as the Ninth Circuit Court weighs whether National Guard troops can be deployed to that city. Oregon Democrats say the move is just unnecessary. Local leaders there say the demonstrations, largely peaceful, are protected by the First Amendment. Many of those protesters wearing inflatable costumes, you see right there, holding signs and chanting, dancing outside the immigration building there. Leaders worry the arrival of the National Guard could only escalate tensions.
I'm concerned about that prospect, and the president could at any time invoke the Insurrection Act, and it is completely unwarranted.
We came down here to sing peacefully, to show ICE and the federal government that we are not rioting, we are not being dangerous.
A decision from the court expected any day.
Let's take a look at this. It may look like a fire, but it's not. It's actually a Halloween display that's turning heads and going viral. We'll show you the house behind the illusion that's sparking the amazement and some concerns. Next. We all know that Halloween is just a couple of weeks away, and many have already started to make their homes a bit spookier.
Yeah, and the folks who own the home you see right here in South Carolina going viral for their over-the-top decorations. It's been seen online for the better part of the last week. Some asking, though, did they take their display a little too far? George Solis takes a closer look.
Despite flames appearing to tear through both stories and smoke billowing from the windows, tonight the owners of this South Carolina home are begging their neighbors to stop calling 911.
I think they got about 30 calls the first year, and I think they may have had 3 or 4 this year.
That's because this fiery scene is all just a Halloween display created by Sam Lee and his fiancée Amanda Pedden.
So probably 99% has been positive. We do have a 1% that, don't like it, and that's understandable. They're entitled to their opinion, but we do it for the community.
The couple from just outside Greenville go big every Halloween. Locals know their home as that must-see house. But this year, the couple outdoing themselves with a mixture of special and practical effects. So convincing, they knew to alert the local fire department.
They know what we're doing. It's never really a surprise to them.
I would not do this without letting your local officials know. That would be asking for trouble for sure.
First responders glad to be in on it, but the calls are coming in.
Does this in any way take away from resources in a smaller fire department?
No. Granted, we're lucky we're a block and a half from where the house is. So regardless, if somebody calls, we're going to go.
What some call festive, others are calling excessive. One Halloween lover in Michigan doubling down when it comes to critics.
When I started getting letters from the city, from my neighbor complaining about some other things, I just decided I would keep them up all year.
Some homeowners, like Alan Perkins, are not up against any other restrictions but the clock.
I do live in a historic home in a historic neighborhood, so it has to come down after October. I can't put a Santa hat on it and say, hey, Merry Christmas.
Perkins, another well-known decorator, has outdone himself with a larger-than-life Lego skeleton replica in his front yard. The towering 13.5-foot figurine, made from scratch, also a labor of love and testament to what Perkins feels is a trend in scary large decorations.
And in the last few years, the stores have come out with sort of bigger and better creations, and I think a lot of people have taken a little bit of creative liberty.
This Halloween, homeowners digging deep into their bag of tricks for truly visual treats, with no plans to stop.
For the people that don't like it, absolutely, you're entitled to your opinion. In no way are we mocking anything, but maybe just find an alternate route around 512 North Main.
George Solis, NBC News.
Well,
how do they do that?
There you go. You want to know how they did it. Would you like to recreate it if you could?
Absolutely.
You would.
Yeah, I would do all this stuff. And also, and this is not being insensitive, I think we would be better off in society is to just mind your business.
I was going to say, I feel like social media makes all of this worse.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm sure in these neighborhoods, people know these people and they relate to these people and they see them at the store and they talk and they know the fire department. It's when everybody chimes in on social media.
Right. People, for the most part, know like their neighbors. There's that house that's going to do that. We know.
They always do it. Yeah.
Right.
I have like one ceramic pumpkin, so I'm not those people. That's
okay.
why I'm envious going on. All right, and I won't talk about my July pumpkins. Let's move on. Let's talk about these pumpkins, your pumpkin pick and forecast. Well, the cool thing this time of year, if you are by chance trying to use some PTO, you're off on random weekdays, that's the time to do it because everyone's doing stuff on a Saturday. That's where it's most busy. So pumpkin picking's going on all across the way. Just naming a few, you have Bush and Vine. You also have Kerrigan Farms. You can actually ride on a tractor ride. And isn't that super fun of Kerrigan? And you're also dealing with a nice, beautiful sunny sky. So it literally is going to look like that in the background. Perfect for pumpkin picking. Oh, you want to pick something else? Apple picking? I got all my fall graphics I only get to use for a couple of weeks, so I'm going to throw them all at you. And we're picking up at most just a few clouds throughout the day, but we're looking at high temperatures in the upper 70s. So it's nice to see some of the apples back. Some areas such as, I think it's Windy Farms down in York County didn't really fare too well. But then also for our current fall color, we're now starting to see a lot more of that peak right here around Ginger Cake Mountain and all the way down to Boone. We're still seeing a moderate to high color. So they've been saying it for months, bounce back, come to North Carolina high country. Today's going to be perfect right on top of the mountaintops. We have the mid 60s. Now, Grandfather Mountain is technically at its peak. Still going to be great to be up there. Cool thing is you're so high up, you can still see all the colors as you're looking down. So if you are planning on going to the mountains, here is their specific forecast. The lower 70s the next couple of days, and then we have the upper 60s to the lower 70s before we will start to chill down. That is perfection. That's great for a hike. It's not too hot, not too cold, kind of baby bear's porridge territory. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast one more time here on WCNC Plus, right around 80 to the mid 70s. That's what we're doing over the next 7 days. This is perfect. This is what you want to see. We are looking at a nice string of above average days before they start to fall below normal heading into the middle of next week. So enjoy it. Only rain chance I have for right now, Sunday. Let's get right over to Majestic, 100% chance of traffic.
All right, let's get to it, and a lot of it. We are busy this morning. It is our Tuesday morning commute. It is still beautiful outside, still very congested. It is 8:52, and we are still seeing slow-moving conditions. I-77, if you're in York County, it's not too bad. Once you hit Mecklenburg County, then you're really starting to see those delays, but we're used to that this time of the day. Not seeing any significant crashes on I-77 or I-85 right now, so that's some good news for you. If you are heading out the door, there's a quick peek at some of those drive times, and just letting you know, the inner loop of 485 right here still really stop and go. I've had my eyes on it to see if it's actually getting any better, and actually it's getting a little worse out there by Matthews. And still this ongoing crash on Pineville Matthews Road. Make sure you're careful of that. Still seeing a lot of green around it, so shouldn't slow you down too much. That's what I have for now. We're going to toss things over to Larry for our Tuesday Tailwagger.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. Time for Tuesday Tailwagger along with their friends at Animal Care and Control. This time last week we featured Tundra. Tundra is still there, still waiting for a forever home. Let's bring on today's Tailwagger. This is Raven. Raven is about 4 years old, a mixed breed, weighs somewhere from about 50 to 55 pounds. House trained, crate trained, knows some commands, rarely barks, gets along with other dogs, and is just a perfect pet. Here's a quote. She will make the right family very, very happy. Available at Animal Care and Control, open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Once again, about 4 years old, weighs somewhere from about 50 to 55 pounds. How can you turn down that face? That's Raven, our very special Tuesday Tailwagger.
All right, if you have a sweet tooth, listen up. Today is National Dessert Day. The options endless, from brownies to ice cream and much more. Today is the day to stop by your local bakery or restaurant for a treat. Or if you have the extra time, maybe you can whip up your own at home. Some places are celebrating with deals today, including the Cheesecake Factory at Dairy Queen, where some locations are offering $1 off any small blizzard. That's at Dairy Queen. Look at that.
How about that?
I'd like
Ooh,
to
it looks
indulge. I know I shouldn't, but my goodness.
It gives you all sorts
You guys
of
have, what's your
feels.
favorite dessert? I don't know if we have time for this. Really quickly, favorite desserts.
I like a hot brownie with vanilla ice cream.
Good.
Just a really good cookie I'm fine with.
Pecan pie.
Brownie, probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Now we know. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here on WCNC Plus. Coming up, we'll have another update on your weather and traffic. Then coming up at the top of the hour, we'll have the latest from our live Impact News studio. That's coming your way in just a few minutes.
Come on, everybody, get hyped up. It is going to be an amazing day. Our new temperature is 62 degrees as we embark into the 9 o'clock hour. This is the background that we are going to get to enjoy today, tomorrow, the days after that. It was like people were watching, it's like, man, this weatherman's too turned up. Well, you're not going to have too many days like this. 80 degrees, it's great. Winds are a little bit lighter, and we have multiple here on our 7-day forecast. Our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast has 3 days in the 80s, all the rest in the mid-70s. It's perfect. Only 1 day with rain, and that's on Sunday. And we only have one majestic storm, and here she is.
All right, good morning, everyone. Well, it is going to be a beautiful start to the day. We have plenty of sunshine out there. Grab those sunglasses if you are getting ready to head out for your morning commute. 62 degrees. You can see it is nice, but the traffic, if you're heading towards Charlotte, is definitely slow moving. Drive times right now, 52 minutes from Gastonia, 37 from Belmont. And you can see stop and go traffic all the way up and down I-77, but we are still following this crash here on University City Boulevard. Make sure you're mindful and drive safe.